ain't got it. Fat broke. We ain't got it. Don't spend no money, ain't got no clothes, ain't got no cars, ain't got no hoes. We broke. Ladies and gentlemen,
you're now listening.
1, 2. Twimbos. We ain't got it.
Hi guys, it's your boy Phil Chard, aka Flynn Floss the Big Boss, aka Pizza P, aka Shamari Tingero Drink, aka Sexington Lovu, aka DJ Mkarad, and I'm out here in South Africa on a lovely, well, it's a shift from winter to summer, so it's kind of in the middle. And obviously Dan is not here because he doesn't own a passport, and he was not willing to jump the border. And I'm here with a lovely, talented lady doing a lot of big things out in South Africa. She's on radio, TV, live music. Did I miss anything else?
A couple of things behind.
Jeez.
No, I write music as well. And,
really?
A businesswoman as well. So, yeah.
Okay, let me amend that. Okay, so she's on radio. She's a businesswoman, a composer, as well as a performer, TV host. Guys, she's just doing a lot of things out here.
Yes.
How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's Relebogile
Mabotja, yes.
Yes, I got it right. See,
yes.
I think there's a different word for that. I'm out here. I'm expanding my vocab and making sure I get people's names
You've
right.
got so many AKAs. Are you a fan of AKA?
Actually, AK is a fan of us because after we interviewed him, he adopted that multi-name because that's when he started going, I'm Super Doromega. We're like, yeah, we see you copping our swag.
So
yeah.
I need to also have an AKA. What AKA must I have? I've been called Lioness before.
Well, you can start with that, you know.
Lioness.
Because what I normally do is because every meaning has a name. So obviously there's my government name, and then Feeds Up P because I'm also a dancehall artist.
Yes.
Some dancehall is blowing up, so I just hopped on that bandwagon. so what they do is they shortenize their name. So like in Zimbabwe, if your name's Brian, they call you Pizza. If you're David, they call you Diva. So I'm Phil, so I call myself Feeds, then P.
Oh my word! So what would Relebogile be?
Ridza. Yeah, it would be Ridza.
Ridza. Okay, yeah. So let's go Ridza Lioness.
Yeah. Ridza Shumba sounds better.
Ridza Shumba.
Because Shumba's lion insurance. That makes a lot more sense. So Ridza
okay,
Shumba.
Let's go with that.
See, there we go. So now you got a little intro.
Yes.
Then when we edit this, I'm going to add a little backtrack. You know, maybe a little DJ scratch in there.
As long as it's not from the Lion King.
Yeah. Just take down notices. So yeah, and obviously my other names allude to something else, which we won't get into now.
Yes.
Because that's not important, but we're here to speak about you and your accomplishments.
Yeah.
So I'm here in South Africa, trying to find jobs. Things are not very well in Zimbabwe right now. 20,000 jobs were lost last week. So we're looking to find ourselves employment across the border.
Yes.
And some way, somehow, I found you at this lovely restaurant, and I was like, you know what? Let me sit down and have a conversation with you.
South Africa is the land of opportunities, especially in the entertainment and media industry.
Is that right?
Definitely.
I'm in the right spot.
And you're a man, so you definitely get it easier than me as a woman.
Listen to that not so subtle jab at patriarchy. Damn you, patriarchy.
Patriarchy is so real, though, and I hope I get to change the face of that, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to do too, you know, in my own way.
Yes.
As a man.
I think we need an African Caitlyn Jenner. I think you are the one.
So the sun is out.
Is it though?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, tricky. Hey. I'll be dead in a week. Yes. So where did it all begin? When did you? Well, I'm assuming you started in music before you went into entertainment, or was that the other way around?
Started in music. Music started in me, man. Like I always say to people, I just always knew I wanted to sing. I always knew music was in my heart. It's what my parents had in the house with the LPs. My parents used to annoy me playing that jazz, man. Mm-hmm. But somehow they were creating and starting something I wasn't aware was happening. And as soon as I was aware of the fact that I could sing, that's all I wanted to do. You know, as a young person growing up, you have all these problems, but the one time that I knew I was at complete peace and at ease with myself was when I was on stage performing. So as I grew up being a performer, whether it was speech festivals or acting or entertaining the crowd, it was the most natural thing. I never thought of it as, oh, this is going to be my job. It was still that thing of, you're going to grow up and do something intelligent. You know, you are an academic who learned mathematics and science. It was never considered a job, though the dreams were there when we were watching the Whitney Houstons and the Mariah Careys. I never thought it would be a job. So when it suddenly presented itself as, oh wow, I could actually make money doing this, then it was, this is actually my life. I'm in the right place.
All right. Pardon my ignorance, but I just realized, growing up, like especially on local TV, were there black women that were on TV excelling in entertainment around that time?
Not really. I mean, I think about in South Africa, we had Doreen Morris, who is one of the first South African black female broadcasters. And I remember at the time, Miss South Africa was just such a big deal back in the pageantry days. And Basana Kumalo was such a force. And at that time, it was all about being beautiful, being the most beautiful woman in the land. It wasn't so much about talent as such. And I did not grow up being the most beautiful girl in the school, let alone the land.
Well, you certainly are now.
So, yes, I think I did always find myself seeing women that kind of look like me, but I still never identified with them in the sense that I never grew up relying on my beauty. I really always had to rely on my brains and my talent.
Okay. All right. So for the most part, your role models were people from America that were excelling.
Partly yes. Partly yes. And it's so sad, isn't it? And I'm happy that the next generation are the ones that will grow up saying, my idol growing up was a Zahara, or my idol growing up was a local rapper called Casper Nyovest that came from my hometown. We are that first generation, and fortunately for me, I lived that triple, I don't even want to say double life, I had a triple life where we lived in a township of Soshanguve, and at the same time went to the suburbs for school. And I was in a school where the diplomats took their kids, so we were, we had the Chinese kid. I was sharing my dim sum lunch box with the kid that had the dim sum, and on the weekends we'd go to the Polish kid's house, and then on school holidays we'd be going to the rural areas on the farms. So it really was a triple life eye-opening experience where you see, okay, I see how rich folk can live, and I got to ride horses and understand what badminton is and learn to swim, but also see the township life and say, okay, now I understand what life is and I know what I can have, what I can experience, what I want. I see where black people are predominantly, I see where black people are going, but I see where I want to be. And that was a nice eye-opening experience. And something I always knew is the black people could always sing and dance. That's something I always knew.
So you just hinted you from Maptown?
No, from Soshanguve.
Oh.
Yeah, from Soshanguve. So I'm a Pretoria girl through and through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how was it like even growing up with integrating with other people? Was it different to other places in the country?
I would say, I wouldn't really say it's different to other people. I think a lot of Joe Burgers was so, you'll find South Africa's predominantly Sizulu based. Where I come from, we're a Tswana Sesotho city. So I'm still your Tswana Pedi girl. Not very Zulu dominated, you know. A lot of people are surprised when I say I'm from Pretoria. They're like, what? You don't have that Pretoria accent thing going on. But my upbringing still isn't any different because my mom's side of the family is from Soweto, and that's where holidays were, man. My cousins and I were all squatting in grandma's room, which in some way I still say is no different from any black kid. I think that might be the same story from someone like you who's from Zim, and the next African American black kid maybe from the South who's like, yo, during the holidays we were all like squatting in grandma's room and looking forward to her cooking.
Yeah.
So our upbringings are so different, yet we are just so the same. It's not even funny.
Oh, that is true. So when did you start falling? Okay, you've spoken of how you were introduced to music.
Yeah.
But then how did you start educating yourself in music? Because obviously you said you're a composer, so that means you can read and write music.
Yeah.
When did that start?
It's a very weird journey. Around the time I was in grade 1, we had the choice to do computer or choir after school.
That was a nice school.
Yeah, you know, private schools, man. My mom fought for us to go to them schools. And my mom was like, you're going to do computers. And after one term of doing computers, I was like, I want to sing. So I went to choir, and slowly through choirs, you know, they would teach us with music, this is what you need to do. And even though I wasn't able to take music as a subject, I would take a bit of piano here and there and start teaching myself by ear. And then my older brother, as I got, you know, late primary school, pulled me into singing for the provincial choir. So I auditioned and I got in. And there you had to read music. So I learned sitting there, okay, when the note does this, goes up, this is what it means, this is what it means. So I'm part self-taught and part learned. You know, I'm not on the levels of the Zwei Balas, who is a maestro and has studied at your Berklee College of Music. But my journey is, you know, I did some music performance in high school, but I didn't nearly study enough because academics were always a first choice for my parents. And at the time, of course, I had to honor their wishes. But I did get a bit of myself in there. So composition, I would say, comes naturally. Luckily, technology now means that we don't have to sit scoring like people had to do back in the day with your stave paper and taking hours and hours to just get what you have in your heart down on paper. Now I have something in my heart, and I just simply record it on my phone and get to studio with an engineer, and we can have it out in an hour or two. So I have my moments where I literally will hear a full production. It's not even a melody, it's a full production in my mind. I know the instruments that are playing, I know what's happening. I have the live version, I have the not live version in my mind, and I can bash it out in studio. And there are times where a client just says, this is what I want, and you have to deliver on deadline. And then you just have to be like, all right, this is what we're going to try. You got to fool around on the piano until you get something. So knowing music theory has helped with the tricks, but my instinct is what has helped me more.
Okay. So currently now, what type of compositions are you working on?
At the moment, the type of compositions I work on is really, I would say I specialize predominantly in music for television. I've got a wealth of experience in television. You know, I went from front of the camera to, actually I started behind the camera, then went to the front of the camera. And then going back to behind the camera full time. And now I understand how audiences work and how viewers work and how to manipulate and play with the viewer's emotion. And because I know music, I know what we can do in 20 seconds, in 30 seconds with a piece of music. So that's what I specialize in at the moment. and just working on something that is not yet announced, but will possibly be seeing on Africa Magic.
Oh.
And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I mean, a lot of the tunes that people will hear on your SABC shows, on your ETV shows, were written by myself or co-written. And yeah, that's where I specialize. And who knows, I might just surprise people and write a full album. You never know. That's what happens with creativity. You wake up one day and you're inspired, and yeah.
Oh, so you're just composing. Do you sing as well?
Yeah, singing's where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Singing is really where it all started. It's weird. I always grew up thinking I would be a singer before anything, and other things paid the bills first. So that's how it says, other things pay the bills first. So I am still singing. I sing mainly at corporate events, for the clients that will say, oh, we request you to perform for us at this function. But I do not have an album as of yet. And the timing has never really been right. So all in God's time. All in God's time, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
Well,
in
one of
God's
the
time.
themes of Two Broke Twimbos is basically not only to highlight what artists are doing, but also use that interview as an excuse to fleece money out of them. So, if you need a background dancer,
Yes.
you need a singer,
Yes.
maybe someone to hold the triangle and ding,
Yes.
I'm that guy.
Oh my gosh, when last did I even have a triangle?
You see, that's what
we
you're missing
need
right
a
now.
triangle.
That's what you're missing right now in these productions. I'll
Can
take
you
over the
play
top.
a harp? Can you play a harp?
What I can do is I can open up GarageBand.
And you can find
I'll
something
I'll
that
find
sounds
the
like
preset, and then when it tells me to press the button, I'll press that button.
you press the button. Done.
Yes.
Done.
Okay, we've jumped forward. Let's get back. So you're in school, you're doing choir, your brother's now helping you learn music, you're teaching yourself how to write music.
Yeah.
Back then, what type of music are you playing? Are you performing anywhere?
Performing with choirs, definitely. And then I had a group of friends. We would always just be finding our ways to mimic what we were hearing. Funny enough, come to think of it, I used to write a lot, just in terms of like, it's sort of in the Jill Scott type of a way of writing poems and sort of later feeling melodies on top of them. At some point, I decided, I'm going to pick up the guitar that my cousin had abandoned, picked up the guitar and wrote my first song on the guitar.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was nothing like the music I listened to, which is so weird. It was kind of like a soft rock love song, broken-hearted love song, not like any kind of love I had even experienced in my life before, which really reminds me of the young Michael Jackson. Not to say I was like the young Michael Jackson, but I always think to myself when I listen to him sing, it's amazing that he could evoke emotions as a 5, 6, 7-year-old of somebody that never experienced those things. So yeah, it was, my brother like introduced me to music composition software. At the time, it was like Fruity Loops. Now it's called FL Studio. And I was sort of like learning what to press where. And that was just me sort of discovering myself and listening to a lot of R&B and soul and jazz. And I think at the time, there was a lot of Donnell Jones and the TLCs, a lot of the international stuff. And of course at home the parents played a lot of the local music. And then a Loyiso Bala just appeared out of nowhere and a TK doing local R&B. And it was like, wow, it was awesome. I definitely loved our local Kwaito. I thought that genre was just off the hizzow.
All right. So, in school, what are you studying?
High school.
Well,
After high school.
after high school, did you go to university and did you study to appease your parents?
So, well, yeah, after high school, I went straight to work. So I was in stage productions, and then I started doing my LLB, and then I decided that making money is kind of important.
Yeah. We know lawyers don't make any money. It's not like it's a good paying job or nothing.
And then, as I sort of got older, I just started studying what I needed. So, as I was just getting old in the business, I said, okay, I need some business management. So did business management. I needed entertainment law. So did entertainment law. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing my MBA in creative industries. We'll see. I'm still looking for someone to pay for me if you can find that person.
I'm the wrong person to ask. Wrong person to ask.
So, yeah, the studies continue, man. Education, education, education.
All right. So you're doing stage production.
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing?
Oh, I haven't been on stage for a good couple of years.
Oh,
back then.
back then.
Yes, I was doing Fame the musical.
Fame is excitement.
Yes, I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. Yes.
Yes, I can imagine the leotards and the socks right now.
Yep. Very colorful long socks I had. It was was a fun experience. I was 17 when I got on that production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What role are you playing?
Mabel Washington.
Oh, snap girl.
Yeah. I was Mabel Washington. I had a whole lot of attitude, a whole lot of soul, So that was a very fun time in my life. But as soon as the musical was over, my dad was like, you are still writing your matric exams.
How long did
Do
that run?
not front.
So how long did that run?
It ran from July till February. So how many months is that? About 7-8 months.
Yo, these numbers.
8-9 months. Nyana.
Yeah, July.
So-
yeah.
Good couple of months it ran.
Okay.
And my daddy was on me because I left school in the middle of my matric year to go and do this production, and he was like, you gonna finish.
Okay.
We got a deal. So yeah, and that was one of the best experiences in my life.
All right. So play, go back to finish your matric, and then so what's the plan now? What are you trying to do in terms of paying the bills, as you say?
Oh, my word, paying them bills. I think right at the beginning, I did something. I poked a little fun at the patriarchy thing. I do feel like I'm here to serve a purpose. I'm a little bit of a feminist. And I would like to see more female representation in the music business and the media business beyond just the celebrity dom, just in terms of the roles that women play in the business, what they stand for, what they do. I hope to leave a legacy. I hope to change people's lives. So that comes with turning my business into a force to be reckoned with. It is a record label at the moment, a publishing house. It is small but growing. That is number one. I'm not turning away from, being on screen again. If the right thing comes along, I'll definitely do it. And then, of course, radio. I'm such a believer. I'm new to radio. I'm still a scholar. I haven't done my 10,000 hours yet, so I'm not yet a professional. Radio is amazing. Such a great platform to chat to people, and you'll be surprised, man. People are living hard lives. And we are in these amazing bubbles of our world, but not just living hard lives, but people have really phenomenal ideas, and just us having conversations can change the world. It starts with a conversation. So I'm loving the platform of radio. So radio, definitely that as well. And yeah, we'll see what else God has planned for me and where that goes, man.
Okay. Well, there's so much that I'm trying to cover, but we're trying to compress it into this interview. So how did you end up getting on? So what came first? After you do stage, you then transition to TV?
Yeah.
And how did that transition happen?
From stage, you know, I finished my school sort of at it in a weird time. I finished in March of the year, which is not when varsity semesters begin. So I went and got myself a job in television production. At the same time, an agent had seen me in the musical and went to represent me. So while I was in TV production, you know, I started going to castings and got a part acting in a drama series. So there were simultaneous things happening with me sort of building my TV career behind the scenes, climbing the ranks to become a producer, while I was now starting to act in drama series, to go on to do the soapy, and starting to be a TV presenter. So a whole lot happened in a short time, if I'm to say that, because I know it's a lot, and people say my CV is overwhelming, but they forget that I started very, very young. I started at 17, and I'm turning 30 in 2 days' time.
Wow. So now you're on TV. Are you still working in music, or you put that to the side to focus on TV?
I've been very lucky that my music and television relationship has been so intertwined. The music I do is for TV, and my TV work that I've been doing has been in the music department of the television shows. You know, I've been producing Afro Cafe, which is a music show where I work with artists and musical direct the show. I just musical directed the sing-off. I musical directed Star the Winner Is in Nigeria. I musical directed I Love South Africa. So I don't know how it happened. My stars have been aligned. My ancestors negotiated very well with Jesus. So it's almost like music and TV came together. My passion, my first love is music. Television is my skill, is the thing that I just know so well. So I really look at them as one thing. And that's how it's been working for me, that the projects just sort of come that way for me.
All right. And throughout all this, as you've highlighted several times, the issue of patriarchy has cropped up.
Yes.
As a black woman, how many battles are you fighting? Is it harder? And what do you have to overcome in order for you to, let's say, get that contract or get that hosting job?
It is a little bit harder. It's hard for people to take you seriously when you are a woman who is young, you know, simply because a lot of men come from their own patriarchal backgrounds where they don't know how to take young women seriously. They don't know necessarily how to have a young female for a boss in the workplace, where it's difficult for you as a woman to just earn the respect of your title just by having that title without having to earn the respect. You know, where me and a man both being a musical director would not earn the same paycheck immediately. I would have to work so hard to prove myself. And this applies in other industries, in engineering, in the legal field, where a woman and a man in the same position, a woman would have to pull out millions of qualification and years of experience. This applies to sport. You know, it's not unique to music. But if I'm to speak solely about South Africa and the music industry and the entertainment industry, I just sit and look at our boards and how women are represented. I sit and look at our production companies, the big production companies, the big record labels. You know, there aren't label heads that are sitting there that look like me. So I can either sit and complain about it, or I can do something about it. And I think in some ways I am changing the face. There are many challenges still. There are a lot of women who think to be in the music business, you have to be just a singer. They don't think, oh, I can actually be, start a publishing company, or I can start a record label. They all want to be the soil, but they don't want to be native rhythms and be a Velile Stole, the woman behind the soil. So it just comes with us educating and informing people that there's more to what they see. There is so much more to what they see and what they understand. So there's a lot of work to be done. And in time, hopefully, the face of this industry will change.
Oh, all right. So, being on TV,
Yeah.
what would you say some of the highlights of that have been, and what is it? What can we say? How has it benefited you outside of just the general fact of celebrity? Like,
Yeah.
how has it helped you understand the industry better and put you in a position to help other women like you're trying to do now?
Well, being on TV means, I open my mouth and people listen. I can actually, I have a platform to speak and I'm heard. How it's benefited me. Selfishly, it affirms that, I did the right thing. And like, as any human being, I don't even want to say it's a woman issue. We'll always be insecure about the choices we make about our life when things get hard. Like, oh my word, did I choose the right job? Like, every fifth day I wake up, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Oh my gosh, So yeah, the moment you are on screen and you are working and somebody goes, wow, what you're doing changed my life. It's affirming to you and the choices that you made, where you can look at people that didn't believe in you and be like, well, not everybody gets that extra affirmation. Some people go their whole lives trying to prove themselves right. They just have their own voice to say, wow, I got to do it. I get multiple voices saying, you're doing the right thing. And I often doubt myself. I always doubt myself. I still have to call my mom to this day and be like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? And have my mom saying that. So it affirms my talent. It affirms my choices. That I'm not stupid. That one I can say about radio. And yeah, I think it's also that there's just space for diversity. I love that our country has so many different types of women, so many different types of people that are working. Like, isn't it great that there's so many different types of people that are working? There's so much cake for everybody. And that's an awesome thing to say about our industry.
Okay. One last thing. You've got such a dearth of experience in the industry. You've 13 years.
Yes.
If my math is correct.
Yes.
Thank you, all level maths. So, what I feel you aren't sharing with us here is you've clearly seen a lot of ridiculous and hilarious stuff.
Yes.
And you aren't sharing this with the audience because this is what they want to hear.
Yes.
What are some of the funniest moments or the highlights you've had backstage or working with someone that you never would have expected to have?
Ridiculous moments backstage that I would have never expected to have. Oh my word. I don't even know what to say. Just so you, as a disclaimer, I am probably one of the most boring people in showbiz. FYI.
Oh, we've had a few more boring interviews than this
No,
one,
I
believe
think
me.
I'm very boring. On your average Saturday, you'll probably find me at home. I'm not a turning up kind of person. I'm just a very chilled person. So whatever madness happens, like, I feel like I never see these things. I hear about things. I'm trying to think. Okay, let's think. I'll think about something cool. What is a ridiculous thing that I might have seen? My word. I don't know. I can tell you something that is, it's not ridiculous, but something funny did happen to me. Now, when you're working in the theater, at times, you know, we have quick changes. Now, I was young and very new. I was like 17, just, you know, starting out, still discovering things. And there was a day we were performing for the opening of the 666 concert in Cape Town. It was the very first one. They had a whole opening ceremony at the Cape Town Convention Center.
All right.
So there was this change room situation, and they got a designer to come in and dress us. It was a big deal. And I was going to be singing the first note. Oh, my word. So there we are having this changing scenario. A whole lot of girls in one room and the boys in the other room. I don't know what happened, but at some point in the girls' room, I was completely topless, and I turned around and the door was open, and at least half of the boy cast saw me topless. Is that a crazy thing?
This is highly unprofessional. That's what it sounds like.
Now imagine I'm like 17, 18. I'm a teenager. These boys are like...
Disgusting perverts. Terrible.
And all they kept saying afterwards were like, wow, it's the first time we got to see you so free.
Jeez Louise, was R. Kelly in this play?
Oh
What the hell?
I was so traumed. But now, I mean, I've had male stylists that have just seen me that way. If I were to advise that young girl to be like, girl, you know the number of male professionals that are just going to be seeing you topless in the space when you're doing quick change, like, get over it. I was freaked out for so long about that incident.
Yeah, no, that much, I think it makes sense, but it's just the way they handle it. It's like if you go for a massage and a woman turns around and says, oh, hello. That's not professional. It's just not professional. You know what I mean?
I think what is traumatic is there were so many girls in the room. I was the only one that happened to be turned around at that moment.
Oh, yes.
The youngest girl. Anyways, these things happen.
Yeah, clearly. Jeez. I apologize on behalf of all men for that terrible
You
incident.
should.
Yeah. I'm just trying to curry favor right now, guys. If you guys don't know, she's really, really hot. So I'm taking anything I can get right now. So, but I think we've managed to cover a lot. I think we're definitely going to have a part 2. Maybe do like a behind the scenes, follow you on set and see what a day in your life is like.
Oh, my word. If I tell you, like, the time right now it's during the day. I'm having an overnight situation. Tonight I'm doing overnight radio. So if you follow me, you might need a couple of Red Bulls just to survive the day.
So what time does your show air?
So we'd air from midnight to 4 in the morning.
Jeez.
And it's a busy show.
Well, okay.
It's just talk, no music.
It's 7:02.
Yep.
Who's still talking at midnight to 4?
You will be you know, people have agendas. Hey, they want to talk. People want to talk.
What? From midnight to 4?
Yes.
Okay, what is your show cover? What's the topic?
Anything and everything. What's happening in the news in the country, around the world, and then we'll have a couple of light topics. Anything from, you know, what is annoying. What are those little annoying things that people do? Like maybe people that whistle. Does that annoy you? And then people call in about annoyances, or something like, how much does it cost to be in a relationship as a guy? So you can be like, I take my woman out twice a week and dinner usually costs $350.
What?
So we tally up.
A pie is 20 rand. What? Guys.
So, you know, it's lots of different things. It just depends. But people can call in as well and be like, yeah, we saw in Parliament today. Or someone will call and be like, I don't understand the speech Donald Trump made. It's really anything and everything. So it's quite an interesting space of radio. And then we'll do interviews as well.
Do you find like you've got a... Because usually in talk radio, and what I've noticed from the stuff I listen to is there's always that 1, 2 or 3 people that really have nothing better to do with their time. So every show they're listening and they're calling, Rebby, today you missed a very important point, okay?
Or we have the regular callers where you have to brace yourself. When you see them calling, you're like... But I think it's what makes what we do so interesting and fascinating. The one time I had a psychiatrist, I was interviewing a psychiatrist on the show, and then he listened afterwards. He messaged me afterwards and he's like, me and my fellow colleagues believe that most of your listeners are undiagnosed and need to be medicated. Please refer them all to me.
He was just trying to get business.
He's like, some people there are undiagnosed and unmedicated.
Wow.
So that's late night radio. It's a lot of fun and interesting.
Okay. So our podcast is very popular, as I'm sure you know. We have 3 listeners. So
Love it.
Love it. So where can our 3 listeners get hold of you if they want to follow up on your career?
Facebook, I've got a page, Relebogile Mabotja. Instagram at Relebogile, and Twitter at Relebogile M, because some person took at Relebogile. If you find her, sort her out for me.
And they never use it. It's always an egg with like 2 tweets from 2008.
Why? Please sort her out for me.
Yes, guys. So please make sure you follow, and we're definitely going to follow up on this and get hold of you soon and catch up and see how your career is going. Since you said you're very young, and I was actually surprised that you're this young, because I was reading your bio. I was like, what? She's aging very well. The years have been kind to her.
Did you know black don't crack? Come on now.
These are the facts on the ground. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. This was super fun.
Yeah. That's what we try to do.
Are you going to host me in Zim when I come through?
Well, host is a strong. What I can do is I'll show you where to go, but you'll have to pay.
Host is a strong. I'm going to start saying that when someone says, I'm coming to South Africa, or you host me, I'll say, host is a strong word.
It's a strong word. What I'll give you directions.
When they say you're hosting the World Cup, host is a strong word.
See, what happened is there's a stadium.
There's a stadium, but there's nothing else. Just the outline.
Yeah, just fill in the gaps so you can play the game. Have fun. Okay, see you later. So yes, no, definitely. You should come
Cool.
to Zim is a very interesting, entertaining
I haven't
industry.
been there in 14 years, so
Really?
I'd love to
When was
come
the last
and
time
see.
okay, wait,
When I was about 16.
That's 2001.
I went when I was 16 and it was a family holiday.
Where did you guys go?
It was some lodge, so it doesn't even count, because we were doing lodging vibes.
You came all the way to Zim and you just went straight to like a lodge in the bush.
No, I mean, I remember us driving, and we did a drive there. We drove to a couple of places, but it was so long ago, I don't remember much of what we did. And then we did go into Zambia.
Okay.
I wanted to bungee jump, and I nearly got slapped by my father.
Yeah.
And then after that video came out, he's like, you see, I saved your life. So, I mean, it would be nice to go there as an adult, deciding where I want to go.
No, it's definitely fun. Obviously, you want to do the main tourist spots, but even in the smaller cities, there's a lot happening. But Zimbabwe is much like a strong cough medicine. It's effective in small doses. So you just want to in and out.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Cool. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for your time.
Cool.
All right, guys, don't forget TwoBrokeTwimbos.com, Facebook 2BrokeTwimbos. Don't forget to subscribe and like on iTunes. We're trying to crack number 1 on iTunes again. We managed to hit it last month. Don't forget SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the website, all 2BrokeTwimbos. And we're starting a petition to help Dan get a passport. So more details for that on the website. All right, we out.
We broke.
Kanako Music.
Oti property, oskidi, takabata, icho, andidi nacho, koda. Tika kara tichichema misosi chapera. Tawakuda Takumbofarawo kan. Nekuti namuye mungu atira mbiri jeme. Aunde. Tawakuda Takumbofarawo kan. Aunde. Atika mete au pamureze tichichema. Aunde. Tawakuda Takumbofarawo kan. Aunde. Natinga pete hao pamureza chichichema. Tabakuda kumba imagine message. Go ndiye sotiri kutaurwa makombi. Gile nora kubata piro. Kumabubu, kutafara. Uyebuwepi, kumandara. Nekumbare, kuwazana. Grempiu, kumufombi. kuchitungisa nekudziva rasekwa. Ona kupara kwacho kwatinoita kana kuchema kumbobva kwatifita. Ona tava kutsvaga muriwo musikanaka wekufara naye. Vamwe vachiti chemeni bata ngoma. Kwatabva kure zvinhu zvakaoma. Tava kuda kumbofarawo kani. Hatingapedze havo pamurese tichichema. Tava kuda kumbofarawo kani. Hatingapedze havo pamurese tichichema. Nhasi tine vanhu vekubara navo. Kana kumba ndiende chimbotamba izvozvo ndaimba tsona. Kana kumba ndiende vaimbozviti yavatererei. Chimbonzwaiwa icho chiyevichuni muzvimaraudza ndingashaya purani. Kana tapedza tobaya pazayani. Tava kuda kumbofarawo kani. Hatingapedze havo pamurese tichichema. 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 Tava kuda kumboimba zvine meseji. Ndisu tiri kutaurwa mumakombi. Gile nora kubata fiyo kumabhuku kutafara kuyebuweti kumandara nekumbare kuwadzana Glenview kumufombi kuchitungisa nekudziva rasekwa. Ona kupara kwacho kwatinoita kana kuchema kumbobva kwatifita. Ona tava kutsvaga muriwo musikanaka wekufara naye. Tava kuda kumbofarawo kani. Hatingapedze havo pamurese tichichema. 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 Tamuka kodasi oti property taka super yatsocheka. And I am